So I've got a gate here. It's metal, as you can see, open to the street. I wanted to see how I could create some more privacy. I could have just changed it, but I thought it seemed a waste. Let's see if I can do something to create some privacy, and I decided I was going to panel it up, as can be seen here, feather edge board, and this is how I went about doing it. So here's my idea on widening the gate. Initially I'd thought about getting it welded, extending it, this bit here, piece of metal, welded out, all joined up. Another idea I had was to cut it here, bridge the gap with a fixing bar and do all that down there and there, but then I thought that's going to weaken it. I also didn't really necessarily want to start welding, so I was trying to do it without using a welder. So this is my idea. I'm going to drill this here, put this fixing bar across there like that, and then I'll do the other one at the bottom, join them in the middle, and that'll widen it out. I think that should be enough for now, and then I'll probably put some strengthening brackets in here just to hold it nice and stiff. So I've just drilled one, the 3mm and then a 6mm drill. That one's right in the middle, spacing right. That one there looks like I'll probably need to come in a little bit further away. So I've drilled the 3mm drill, probably going to take it out and just drill it somewhere in the middle here. This one here may just do the same just to be on the safe side. Anyway, that's what really happens, isn't it, when we try and do it without marking it out properly. Basically that's what I'm trying to achieve. I've put that there, give myself about ½ inch clearance. That's going to come down there. I'm going to do the reverse down the bottom here. They're going to meet in the middle, and I'm going to nut bolt them together. So this is basically what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to build a frame around the gate to close the gap. So we see that's bolted. I've just G-clamped it together just to see what I've got. I'm going to screw it together now. I've drilled holes at the bottom and then bolt it together. Now I haven't really got that much. As you can see, it's not that much. I'm going to put 2 bolts through here and drill it through. I may just put in a bit of extra bar just to bring it a bit further back, just in case. I'll see how stable it is. If it's not strong and stable, then I'll probably put a bit of extra in. If not, I'll leave it as it is. So I've started to put this back together now. You can see that I've got 3 in there, 2 down the bottom, and I'm going to start bolting it along the side. And I'm using nylock washers, nylock nuts rather than just standard nuts, just to give it a bit more not security, but let's just say they're harder to undo. So yeah, that's that. So I'm going to use those, bolt it all together, and then catch up on the next bit. So what's gone wrong? Some of the holes are not lined up, so I'm just gonna just whack the 6mm drill through them. Obviously I've got a few of them right and some of them have gone wrong, but anyway, not to worry, that's what happens. So another reason for using the nylock nuts is when I was drilling that before, when I was just dry fitting it, some of those top ones had come undone, so that's another reason for using the nylock nuts. So anyway, so that's all been done. It's just been sort of trying to put there together, because I'm going to try and put something in between here to hold it more secure, because obviously that's just flapping around. But as you can see, there's a nice gap now there. Hopefully you can see it's a nice bright day today for a change. So that's it. I'm going to put a couple of brackets in here. I'm going to make a few, 2 or 3, probably 3, and then bolt them in place. That's why I've only dry bolted these now. just in case. Then I need to put another piece of metal through there, just lock it all together. I need to bend that. I've got a vise, so found a paving slab. That happens to be the right thickness. Surprise, surprise. Just put a G clamp on it. I'm going to try bending it. Let's see what happens. It's actually quite soft. I've chosen a thinner metal deliberately because I knew I was going to have to bend it sort of by hand. So I'm going to move my clamp out of the way now. But I think you can see it's pretty much it's bent. I'll just bend it all now. Not a lot of strength needed. So hopefully it works. That's the idea. That's what I was trying to do. It's basically I bolt that together, undo these, and then drill through that bolt to that. And it's just to give it a little bit of rigidity that way. It'll be just harder to bend it in because you're just pushing against that bit there. And you're not going to see it in this anyway because it's all going to be covered. So I'm going to go off, trim that, and make another one. And then obviously in a vise, or I don't want to use a solid piece of metal, just because I've got this and I thought I'd just try it out. That's it. I'm not using anything, I'm trying to do it all without using any specialist tools. I've just cut that with the old hacksaw, put around a piece of wood. I'm going to drill through that and just carry on. I just basically hold it like this. Obviously no health and safety advice that I'm giving. Everyone's got to do it their own way, but I just, you know, get the vise out, get this out, get the other out. If I had a vise, got a little workbench, but or Black & Decker workmate type thing, but just can't be bothered to get it out. Just do it like this, put my foot on it. That's it. But everyone's got to do whatever. If you're more comfortable doing it that way, then you know, we're just trying to get to the end game here, which is get a couple of holes drilled in this. So I've done two. Obviously not all the best because I've not got a vise to put them in, and but it's going to do the job. I think you're going to get the idea that it's going to squeeze it up, bolt it together, and then that's going to hold that together. I'm probably going to do one further at the top and one further at the bottom. But I'm going to go and buy a couple more of these that are already bent in one side, and then that way I've only got to do one bend. That's it. Well, I've tried another way of bending it, and I've just used a thicker bit of bar, and I'm going to try and bend it on that. I've tried to bend it. Yeah, it's a bit better than the other one, obviously. No substitute for having a vise, I suppose. But anyway, I haven't got one handy, so it's the best I can do. Just use that last piece that I had rather than throw it or use it for something else. I've just bent it over. I'll squeeze that up and I'll just get one more for the back. I think that'll be it. And I've got another plate here to hold the lock, and I'm going to put a similar plate across there to put a handle in if I want. It'll already be there ready because obviously that whole thing's going to be clad in wood. So I've bent another one. I bought that, it was an angle, and I've just rebent it. So just loosely bolting it together. I'm going to measure out where I'm going to drill it. Here, 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 and here. I'm going to bolt that all together, and then I'll use lock nuts on it all, and then get that all done. I'm going to replate this, extend one of these out to here, so I'm going to put my lock on it. Probably going to put one here, just on the, in case I want to put a handle for it. So I'm just going to put one of those pad bolts here, it goes into the wall, and yeah, it's probably, because this is going to have to be cut off, just to tidy it up, because obviously it's no good, and carry on with it. Okay, so I've marked all these out. I'm going to now try and drill them. Obviously probably can see the mistake, which is I've nylock those at the top. I don't really want to take them out, so I'm going to just try moving this out of the way, drilling it through. Not ideal, but I guess that's what happens when you're doing it and you're working it out as you go along. So I'm going to try that without having to have anyone do the nylock nuts, because I want to take a shortcut basically. If not, I'll have to take them off and then redo them. So what I did was I just re-drilled that out, made a bigger hole, put a 10mm drill through the bottom one there, give me a bit more play. I put a washer on it, and I put a longer nut and bolt for it. Just holding it together now just to make sure before I nylock it all up that I don't need to do anything else. That's it. I'm going to plate this up, so another plate goes across there where I'm going to put a lock, and I'm going to get ready soon just to put all the wood on, or the frame to put the wood on, I should say. So what I'm doing now is I want to bolt this plate to the gate, and I'm using M4x30mm bolts. They're basically machine screws, and I'm going to put lock nuts on the other side. I'm probably going to bring it through this side potentially, or I may just leave it on the other side, depends. I'll see what way it's going to work better with the wood. So I'm just sort of test fitting it all, make sure it works. With that bolt in there, I'll probably still put a bracket behind here, just to probably just hold something in position here, and then bolt it through there, and then bolt it through there. There's a little bracket I was talking about, so I've just put that there. I'm going to put one through here that's joining up on all that, so that's quite good. So you see that's all there. Basically 3 pieces in that one. That one there, and I'll just put one through again. I think that's a bit different just because it's going to be being against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places anyway, so I think it's going to be fine. So I've now put the lock on. I'd like to trim a bit here just to make sure I get enough distance in it, because even though it's supposed to be a heavy duty one, you'd think it'd stick out a bit further, but actually, yeah, could have stuck out a bit further, but that should be enough. It's going to go into a decent bit of brickwork there. So probably going to go in about 20mm. It's probably enough, I'm sure. Now I'm just going to nylock it all together and get ready to put the wood on. Right, so it's all nylocked together, all the way through, all the way like that, and I've put my lock on. See that comes off pretty easy. Goes in pretty straightforward. It's all bolt together, and you can see from the other side, sort of like that. There's a bracket in there. I'm not sure you can put something in there, it's a bit bent, but it doesn't matter, it's tight, so that's the main thing. And then if I need to trim any of this stuff off, I'll trim it off the grinder or hacksaw, depends what's easier. If I don't need to trim it off, I'll probably leave it, because the wood's going to go against here and along that length there, and that's it. So we'll carry on. So the lock's in place, gate's all locked, put the old padlock across it, that'll do for now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm basically going to put that piece of wood behind it like this. It's going to go all the way along and slip it around there or there, so that it's flush to the gate, so that will fit flush inside effectively, so I've got a tighter gap. All I'm going to do here is I basically marked it all out using the old tenon saw, and sort of chisel that little bit out. Do the same on that side. I'll get the chisel those slots out, and then hopefully it should fit in snugly on the gate. Then we use fixing strap with some bolts through, just hold it together. So all I've done is I've just clamped it to a piece of wood, just not to damage it with a bit of metal bar, and then I'm just going to chisel that little bit out there like that, as so, and do the same on the other side. So I've put a piece of timber up, I'll put a slot in there, put a bar across the back, and I'll just put coach bolts across it, and just basically like that. It's going to hold it in place. I may just put something in there, sort of 3 or 4 places, just to hold it all in position, but if not, I think it should be fine. So I'm just doing the next stick, or the next bracket, batten, whatever you want to call it, putting it across there. I'm going to bolt it the same as I've bolted across the top, and carry on working, try and get the bottom bit done, and start paneling it up. I'll put this one in the middle because I'm going to probably grind this off and use some other sort of handle, you know, like one of these twist jobs you can buy, cheaper handle, just something to use from the outside of the gate. What I've used one of these because these, you can see that they're quite wide for a screwdriver, so I've just used a bracket and it actually fits quite nicely in there. It's a bit closer to put your arm in from the other side. Actually got a decent bit of leverage. Yeah, I can hold it there nicely. Use my unused deep socket set 10mm. I've put penny washers either side. That is pretty. I was actually going to drill through, but 6mm is going to be too thin through there. And even if I put a couple of 4mm, I don't think that's going to move, to be honest with you. That was pretty strong. So that's it. So I've got the 3 bars going across, and next job's going to be is to get me wood. Feather edge board I'm using. I'm basically going to attach it to those. Hopefully it's going to work. We'll see. So I've put the first feather board on, dried it up. It's quite a tight gap, but I've given it about 1 centimetre just in case of a bit of expansion. I'm screwing it, not nailing it, using those 4x35mm screws. I've drilled some 2mm pilot holes just so I don't crack the feather board or split it, whatever, which sometimes can happen even if you nail it. It's happened to me before. So there you go, I'm just going to carry on building that out and see what it looks like when it's finished. So I've started screwing it in. I'm overlapping it by 9 centimetres, and I've just offered it up and just worked it out myself just by, I knew roughly how many I needed, but I've just tried to get the best fit across the board. Screwing it in, don't know if you can quite see in there, probably not, just about, but I'm not attaching to both feather balls, just one. That's the way I've done it before. Previously obviously I would have nailed it if it was a regular fence, but I'm screwing it in. Just I think it's just don't want to be hammering against the gate and stuff like that, which would be easier. But I'm only ever catching one feather board. So there's the gate, pretty much finished. So I've screwed it all in the top 2 bars. It's actually, because it's reasonably heavy now, I'm having to hold it. Obviously it wasn't before, so it will open pretty. It actually stayed still. I'm going to screw the bottom bits in, because I haven't screwed them in. I just screwed the first one in, just because I don't want to just get up and down every 2 seconds. So that'll be it. It's pretty tight, but there's a reasonable gap there. It's about 1 centimetre up and down. Shouldn't expand that much, I don't think. Then I'll probably either put a bit of angle iron here, just for it to butt up against, or maybe just get a piece of wood, just screw it up just a little bit, just to hold it in position. So there you go, looks all right. Nearly finished. I'll probably put a handle on it or something. But yeah, I think it looks all right, if I say so myself. Looked better than I thought it was going to turn out anyway. That's it. That's what it looks like from the inside. Sunny day here in the UK. So that's what it's going to look like, or that's what it looks like from the inside. I'm probably just going to leave it like that. I could sit here and re-panel it from both sides, but I think it's actually going to then be too heavy for the hinges in terms of being screwed against that wall, because it's not great. And it's actually reasonably heavy now. So I think I'll probably just leave it like that. A fixing strip across here, and then put a cap over the top, and then I'll probably just put a piece of wood along the bottom as well, just to give it a bit more strength, and I'll just screw that into it from the outside. I'll show you what that looks like. Also got my lock here. I possibly will put a handle on the outside, just so you've got that catch there. But I'll probably grind that off, put that one through, use that part there that's already there, use that that's already there, so I don't have to fix or weld anything to here, because I don't want to use my welder. And that'll be a handle from the outside, so if you just need to go out the gate's not going to just flap around. So I've just put in a bar across there. I've used a bit of off-cut, 2 bits of off-cut I should say, rather than go buying a whole new piece of wood. Bar across the top with the cap, which looks like this. Then we can see it. Profile looks like that. And just put that across the top just to finish it off, and then also just to protect the top edge of the featherboard from sort of the worst of the weather. That's what it looks like with the top there. You can't really see anything. I think it's just covering it up. So you can't see the sort of bit I've done at the bottom either from the outside. It's all on the inside. If you don't like the inside of it, I mean, potentially you could get some thinner feather edge board and basically use the timber that's already on the inside and just basically cover it up. You don't necessarily really have to overlap it that much, because you're just really trying to, it's for cosmetic use only now, so you could do that. And just trim a little bit off. I might not even bother trimming the nuts, the bolts rather. Just put them on. We're still going to have an issue because you have to trim them all the way down to the nut. It's still going to be sticking around. So potentially just do that. If you want to finish it off nicely from the inside. This is a bit lighter than the 15 centimetre stuff. This is 10 centimetres, and you can probably just put it edge to edge pretty much. Even maybe leave a gap. I don't think it makes much difference, and that could just handle it off and finish it off nicely for the inside. Just for cosmetic use more than anything else. If you wanted to do that, if not, you could just leave it. And actually, just following on from that, what I did notice is that actually I wouldn't even bother trying to get to these bits in here. What I'll do is put another piece of this against it, and then that would take it out far enough from there. And actually, because it's just cosmetic, I'll basically just attach it to the top, do the same at the bottom, put another panel in, put another piece along here, bring it out here and actually just screw it top and bottom, because it's just for cosmetic use only. If I wanted to do that, actually I might even think about doing it. I'll see how, you know, I get fed up with looking at the metal bars basically. And obviously you've got, you know, this fixing bar and nuts and bolts and whatever. It doesn't look that attractive. So maybe that might just sort of work. And like I said, I'd probably just put it pretty much edge to edge. You may even leave a little gap, just for expansion purposes, so I don't have to bother overlapping it, and that'll probably look quite neat and tidy. So I'm going to cut this off here. I'm going to utilise this bar here and the plate that's there. You can see that, if that's all welded together. I'm going to put my handle through there. Just got one of these things here, and use that, push that through. Obviously that this little bit here is no good because it would have to go like that for it to work, so that's going to be no good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one that was on there, and I'll go against there like that. Obviously that's too far apart there, so I'm going to cut that there and then attach it to this side here so that the gate can actually move, and then use this as the block to stop it, you know, as a stopper, so the gate can't go any further than that bit there. So let's see, that's the theory anyway. Let's see how we get on. So I've ground that off. I was cutting it, but it's quicker to grind it, so that will come off now. That's that. We will knock that out now. And then, theory is, put my square handle for it. So, drilled that out there. That's basically going to go through, so that turns. Our biggest drill I had was 10mm. Probably, even though that is measuring 10mm, probably needed probably a 12mm drill to give it a decent bit of clearance. I'll have a drill handy. So I have used the old drill at an angle like that, which is probably not what you're supposed to do, but cleaned it out a bit, and then I've just used the file quickly just to give it a bit of clearance in there. It works anyway. So in essence, that was a rivet that's welded on at the back there. Can't really see it, but it's welded through, and obviously they've rounded off the head on the other side to give it, to make the catch move freely. I don't know what they call it, probably a machine rivet or something like that, hammered rivet. That was heavy duty, it's probably done on a press. Anyway, drilled that out, and now I'm going to try and put my handle. This is the handle I bought. So the theory is, I'm going to trim that length so that that goes through there, through the hole, and then I'm just going to attach the handle at the other end, and then this is going to go through there. So I've got my thing already there, so then I have to make another one, utilise the strength in the gate already, well, that's already welded on, and I'm going to see how it works. I might have to put a plate behind it, if not I'll probably just I'm trying to attach it yet. We'll see. I'll think about it. Possibly put a bit of fixing bar behind it. I did buy another plate specifically for this, a bit like that one there. I'll see if I need to put that behind it. I may well do, just to give this, otherwise it's going to be floating really, which is not ideal. Anyway, let's see, I'll let you know how I get on. So I've just cut that with a grinder. The idea is I'm going to connect those two together. I don't really want to use my welder, so I might try and put a couple of 4mm nut bolts through to hold that in position. That'll be the stop against where the gate goes. As It's going to sit there so the couch can go on it. Just get my hands out of the way. So that'll be like that. That makes sense? Just a, I don't know if it's a tip, I'm not sure. I'm going to mark that seat there, that knot, to see where I'm going to drill it here. I'm just going to get some Tipex. Yeah, I'll just put a bit of Tipex on the end of that, then that will mark. I'll push it against there. That will mark metal. Gives me a better idea of where it's going to be. So I'll bolt the latch onto the inside, put the plate on there, bolted it through there, screwed that all together, cut the screws down. That's that from the other side. Probably just going to put a strip of wood down, top to bottom. Strip of wood on the inside edge, and that is going to basically be my stop. What if I've worked out? Well, I've discovered that I've probably trimmed that a little bit too small. So what I'm going to do is, that is a little bit not enough in it. So I'm just going to mount it on the ubiquitous strip I've been using, and that will give me enough width, and I'll just mount it on there. I guess that's what happens when, you know, like I said, I've not planned it, I'm just doing it as I go along, which I think is what most people end up doing. A bit of planning, but you're working it out. Probably trimmed it a little bit too soon, or I should have given myself a bit extra, but it's not the end of the world. I'll get that done and just screw it up against the wall. That'll be finished. So that looks alright. Another sunny day. So I'm just getting a few more bits done. Once I've screwed that up against the wall, I'm going to probably get just a 20mm square section, just to butt it up against, and also just to close the gap more than anything else. I don't want to narrow the gap any more than I need to. That's it. So I've put the catch on, screwed it on, give it a bit of width, and now does that. So you can see there, that's fine. There's a bit of distance in there, and now I'm just going to put a piece of wood on the outside of the gate, just as a stop, and then I'm finished. So there's my piece of wood. That's basically just going to be my stop all the way to the end. And how's that going to look? There you go. So in essence, if you can quite see that there, it basically just pretty much butts up against it. So that's it, that's the gate finished. That's it.